Alright. Just want to say, I don't care about anything else that happened in this episode of Goblin Slayer. I genuinely don't care about anything else that happened in this episode of Goblin Slayer. Because personally, what I really cared about is the ending, and it got me really excited. And one of the big things why I say it got me excited is because that ending is the start to the arc that personally everybody were like they skipped it. They did not get it done. Like they this was a big mistake and everything. And this arc, the Goblin Lord Arc, like people were going after it and they were really mad about this arc being skipped. And understandably, I could understand why that was because I did read the manga and I was like damn excited to see this arc. Because when I was watching the anime, I was like seeing comments in my previous videos, and they was like, "God, they skipped the Goblin Lord arc and everything." And even my friend Dank, shout out to him, he was like, they skipped the Goblin Lord arc, and I was kind of disappointed when I read the manga. I was like, "Damn, they should have not done that." But when you think about it, it makes sense why they did. Because if you go in a boss rush, let's just take a boss rush, alright? It makes sense because you go Goblin, Hobgoblin, Shaman, and then you go to a Goblin Champion, not a Goblin Lord, because the Goblin Lord is above a Goblin Champion in terms of adventure rankings. In Goblin terms, not I'm talking about like what the humans are said, but in Goblin terms, if you go in adventure ranking and everything, Goblin Champion is like a gold adventure in Goblin ranks, and Goblin Lord is a platinum rank. So it's a huge advantage over a goblin champion who's just a normal goblin, like gold goblin. So it's a huge advantage when it comes to platinum there because there's a huge gap between a gold and a platinum, and there are only this episode states that there are only 10 goblin, not goblin, but 10 heroes who have been and platinum rank. I'm sorry I said goblins, but it's 10 platinum heroes, okay? But yeah, there are only 10 platinum heroes in the whole world of Goblin Slayer that ever made it to platinum rank. And that is a huge rank considering that there were tons of adventures, that tons and tons of adventurers. And like Goblin Slayer is literally a silver rank goblin goblin. Why am I saying goblin? There are so many goblins. I don't know why. But Goblin Slayer is literally a silver rank adventure, which is which is below gold and platinum. So yeah, he has a long way to go, by the way. But yeah, there is a huge difference then. If a platinum rank has only 10 adventurers who are actually ranked platinum, so it is pretty damn tough to get platinum rank. So yeah, Goblin Lord, it makes sense in a boss rush sense. That they go first for the goblin, that the hobgoblin, and then go for the shaman, and then they go to the goblin champion, who's like the gold rank of the goblin race, and go for the platinum, who's the next rank, which is Goblin Lord. So yeah, that's pretty much I could understand why they did it like that. Plus, it's an epic thing because epic shit happens in this arc, all right. And I could understand why they skipped it before, like why they skipped it and made it go after the Goblin Champion, the Watertown arc, because it's obvious reasons because of this arc. This is an epic arc. Like it's not like the Watertown arc or the first three episodes. It's nothing like the Ogre, nothing like the Watertown arc. It's a completely. I'm not even gonna spoil it because it is epic what happens in this arc. So I'm not even gonna spoil it. Like that's how good this was when I was reading it. Personally, my favorite arc of Goblin Slayer so far. I don't know about light novel because I have to read light novel if there is anything else added to it. So, just saying that. Now that I got all my things out of the way and I relieved it myself, let's actually talk about this episode. And there were a lot of things that I thought were I was confused at first because I didn't know if this was gonna be after the Goblin Lord arc or were the things before the Lord arc. But they were indicating that this arc was going to be the Festival arc, which is the next arc after the Goblin Champion, which is the Watertown arc, is the Festival arc. So they were indicating kind of the god that they were going for the festival arc with how they were talking and everything, how they were talking about the goblins they should consider retirement and everything and all that. Like if you go and injure yourself again and yada yada yada, like they were talking a lot like that because it was literally this is after the Wartown arc, and the festival arc takes place, and they were talking about the festival, and they were talking about how the Goblin Slayer not like even the guild gun telling the Goblin Slayer not to get hurt himself injured again. Like there were various nods that this might skip the Goblin Lord arc, but at the same time there were many things that also kind of indicated that they're going for the Goblin Lord arc. And one of those things, one of the major things that I got excited for when I saw it was like it gave me a hint, and I was like, okay, this may happen. The Goblin Lord arc may happen. That's meeting the paladin, and I forgot what's that guy called. I think it's called a warrior. That's all he's called. But a paladin and a warrior, meeting them too, because the first interactions they both have are basically Goblin Lord watches them train and everything in the manga, and that's Goblin Lord. Goblin. Oh my God, I screwed that up. But yeah, Goblin Slayer watches them train in the manga and everything, and kind of shows how the goblins like Goblin Slayer interacts with both of the, not both of them, but the paladin and how he interacts with her and everything that happens. Like she's a paladin in training to be exact. So yeah. Um. Other than that, a lot of things that happened weren't that much of special until the end, which is basically the heartwarming moment with Goblin Girl, Goblin Slayer, and the Cowgirl. I said Goblin Girl, didn't I? Great. I don't know what it is, but whenever I say Goblin, there are so many goblins that just come in my mind and like, which name is the correct one? But yeah, Goblin Slayer, the heartwarming moment between the Goblin Slayer and the Cowgirl was what? Yes, she's called Cowgirl. Don't question it. But that was the moment. It was like, yeah, it was a pretty cool moment in my opinion, a pretty heartwarming moment and stuff. And even the Shrine Maiden's letter was pretty cool, with how she was like saying, talking to goblins that wrote the words written in the letter, and how she was being like, all like, thanks to you, and I've stopped dreaming and everything and all that. I think so. I genuinely thought that was a pretty cool moment in my opinion. I don't know if this was in the manga. I don't remember that well because it's been some time since I read the manga. But I don't remember that well if the prince, the sword maiden, actually sent a letter or not. But again, that was a pretty cool moment in my opinion. The also the moment when Goblin Slayer and the Cowgirl was pretty cool in my opinion. Like they were pretty heartwarming moments for me. So that was, all that aside, I think so it was a pretty good episode personally for me because it didn't have gore or anything. Okay, it didn't have goblins. It didn't have gore. It was a very normal episode for once. Like literally a very normal episode. There's nothing to call this episode an extraordinarily gory episode. Okay, it's a very normal episode. Nothing much happened with it. That's basically it. So yeah, let me know what you think about this episode of Goblin Slayer. Let me know what you think. Did they do the correct? I'm only asking this to light novel and the manga readers, alright? But let me know if you guys think that they did the good thing with skipping the Goblin Lord arc and then putting Wartown arc with they and then putting the Goblin Lord arc at as the final arc of this season, or do you think that they should have just followed the way the light novel and the manga go? Let me know about that too. I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, peace.